pews from them. Sue was very diligent then as far as getting on the line to get those.
So now what it is we need to put that in the budget, so it's another budget consideration to do. It's not giant, but it's something to monitor.
Okay, I'll kind of go a little quicker. So the next pages are the budget adoption format. This is really condensing everything out a little further. I've numbered everything again. So item 1, if you look at the beginning fund balance, and I drew a line on there to ending fund balance, that difference is the $136,902 deficit. Item 2, that's our Fund 10 tax levy, plus the TID money is in there. Item 3, that is our open enrollment in funding that comes in. Item 4, transitive aids. Those are aids we get on money we give to CISA. They get aid back and turn around and give us our share of it. Item 5, the state aid categorical of $73,000. That's transportation aid and common school fund or library aid. Item 6 is the equalization aid, almost $6.8 million. Item 7, those are some small grants that we have. Item 8, we get some payment in lieu of tax payments from 2 municipalities of roughly $24,000 to $25,000. Item 9, that is our per pupil aid, and then there's a very some smaller grants in there as well. The next page, item 10, those are the title grants. So we are also utilizing some carryover in Title I funds there. Item 11, that is the Medicaid, the SBS/MAC or Medicaid payments that we get relating to special ed. Item 12 is the insurance payment that we've already received on the roof. If there's another claim in there, that'll also go up. It'll probably be after budget adoption. So we would just record in there and then record the roof repair for the other roof in there as well. Item 13, that is our workers' comp dividend. You can see that 2 years ago we got almost $50,000 and last year we got $23,000. So item 14, that is our total revenues. You can see an increase of $634,000. And then everything that below that kind of explains what's in these functions, the 110 function, 120, so that's K through 5, 6 through 12, vocational curriculum is agricultural, business ed, tech ed, 140 is phy ed, 160 is the ADs, athletic directors pay, and then any extracurricular costs for coaches. 170 is gifted and talented, and then support services. 210 is guidance, nursing, psych. Instructional staff services is the library and director of instruction. 230 is the superintendent, the district office secretary, and any board expenses. 240 is principals, associate principals, and their secretaries. 250 is property services, district office staff salary and benefits, custodial staff salary and benefits, and then I cut off there. I think there's the director of maintenance. 260, the central services, that is the IT department's pay and salary as well as their expenses for technology. 290, other support services, those are HRA payments that we make annually to employees, and then retirement benefits.
So Ryan, just got like business administration, it's 2.4, so that's the roof.
Yeah, property services.
Where did that be? Good.
And then the 410 is interfund transfer, that's the Fund 27 transfer, and then 430 is mostly open enrollment. So if you add all those up, you'll see a change from last year's actual by $773,000. I don't know if Jennifer's familiar with it. So the column, I didn't read the column headlines, there was the 17-18 audited, those are actual costs. The unaudited 18-19, that's where we have currently temporarily closed the books for this year and then the budget. So the next page, that's where you'll see Fund 21. We only have one Fund 21 account right now. We are looking at transferring over some other of our Fund 60 activity accounts because they don't truly fit the definition of activity accounts. They're more gift and donation accounts. The job fair is actually what that Fund 21 account is. So that one allows Dave, or whoever's running that career fair, to have the funds carried over. Fund 27 is below, there's not much on there. Item 16, transfer in, that is the transfer from Fund 10 to pick up special ed costs. Item 17, that is the special education aid, and like I said, that's 26% of what we spent this past year. It was 24.5% before. Item 18, that $310,000 is our early childhood grant and our flow-through grant money. The next page, I just total up total revenues of special ed is $1,980,916. The special education expenses, those item 19, that's really the education staff. Item 20, pupil services, is guidance, nursing, psychology. Item 21 is the training costs and any supervision costs. The director of special ed would be in there, as well as the special ed secretary. Item 22, the $110,983, that is transportation costs relating to special education. Item 23, CISA, that is payments for contracted services that we have with CISA 6. And then item 24 is the expenses, where you'll see we're $52,000 more in special ed expenses this year. Item 25 is Fund 38 and 39, so those are the referendum levies for referendum debt and non-referendum debt. On the next page, item 26, that's Funds 41, 46, 48, and 49. That's almost excluded. There's a little 46 in there because we have some money left over from Fund 46. But those are the referendum expenses. You can see 2 years ago we had roughly $2 million in expenses. This year we had almost $19 million. And we're just finishing off paying the referendum off in probably the next couple of months here. So to finish that off, we have $4.1 million in expenses in there. Item 27 is the food service. Me and Scott have worked with Nikki on that budget. There was a little surplus last year of $1,162. The current budget has a surplus of $8,118 in it. And then below that is something that hasn't been on there for during my time here. That's the Fund 80 budget. So you can see the 2 tutors that we have getting funded out of there. The next page, which is the last of the numbers, is the paper publication version. This will go into the paper twice before the annual budget meeting, and it's very condensed. I kind of highlighted. You can see the sources in there: sources 1, 2, 300, 400, 500, 600. So it's very condensed on what goes into the paper. One thing I do want to point out is on the next page, I put stars next to it because that is not actually on the format that you guys approve. It is the actual tax levy amounts. You can see them at the very bottom. So all those numbers on the far right at the bottom, those are coming off of the revenue limit worksheet. You can see increases from year to year in there. The star that's further above shows total expenditures. So you can see this huge jump. The district had $36 million in expenses last year. Well, that is mostly the referendum. So there's that. And the next page is kind of the plan going forward. So at the next board meeting on October 21st, I'll come back. I'll take a look at that revenue limit worksheet periodically, day by day, to see when they update numbers. And then I'll update our budget numbers accordingly. I'm also going to keep a running detail of anything that changes from what you've just been given. If we have additional revenues that we think we need to put in, like if we want to put more interest back in, if we put the SPS interest back in. So I'll take the deficit I was given to you tonight and keep a log of how that changes. And then time permitting, I don't know if I'll get to it. I might just send out a fund balance report that I did a couple years ago, which might just require me changing numbers, so you can have an update on what fund balance is. And I know we have some new board members that might just like seeing what fund balance entails. And then there's the October 21st, that should say October 28th annual meeting, the approval and adoption of budget and tax levies. And then I put a note on there for long-term planning. Me and Scott have registered to go to Baird in December to get our budget build model. There's going to be a lot less uncertainty this year than there was last year because there's a 2-year budget in effect now, so it'll allow us to do a little bit more planning with enrollment numbers. And
Is this a workshop or something?
yeah, there's a bunch of business directors and superintendents that attend at the Baird building.
What happens is they pretty much give you the Baird model on a jump drive,
Okay.
and then they walk you through how to manipulate the information, just making sure you don't go and corrupt your cells, you know. that
You can
kind of
do
stuff.
long-term hypotheticals, like if they change per pupil aid and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Is there any chance I could? Sure.
I can add you as a, probably put down as a guest. And then the other note I had on there is just, we had spoken in the past about long-term planning, and through CISA 6 training with key performance indicators and continuous improvement planning, we are working on, at least 5-year plans. Scott had touched on the IT stuff, so that's part of it. Buildings and grounds is part of it. Transportation, food service, and even curriculum. It's all part of a long-term plan where that Baird model can really help us, because you can plug in forecasts for 5 years and see where maybe new equipment fits in, new buses fit in there, how you strategically want to.
You notice there's no new buses in this budget.
Correct.
We're gonna lease those now.
I don't want to say that's
You
all there is,
get
but
a rating
that was a
that's
lot. So, do you have any questions?
No, great
A
job.
lot of information to have.
Well,
I like how you
Nice job.
put on the side, it really helps out.
Yeah. The footnotes.
Helped a lot.
Almost puts it in English, yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay. Any possible future action items? Unfinished business? New business. We have resolution 1920-71, approval to hire Bethany Tuckman, school year secretary at Parkview. Motion?
So move.
Joel, second by
Dick.
Okay, Becky's not here, so.
Okay, I can speak to it.
Sure.
So this is a school year position, and with labor grade 3, we updated our labor grades to simplify them. We now just have 6. So if your school year, the highest labor grade is 3 actually. So for 40 hours a week, paid $15 an hour. She started today, actually, after getting all the official paperwork in. So there is a letter from Becky, so I'll read that. So it says, with great enthusiasm, we're writing this letter of recommendation to hire Bethany Huffman for an admin assistant position at Parkview Primary Learning Center. She joins the Parkview Primary Office staff with experiences in both the private sector and in school environment that will aid her in her transition into the position of Parkview admin assistant. Bethany has a calm and friendly demeanor while still being a problem solver, which are both qualities that are crucial in the role of admin assistant. So strongly recommends that she be hired. So Becky's very excited.
Reverend coming down and go on everything.
No, moved.
Okay, great.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joel?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-3.
Where is he?
Resolution 1920-72, approval to hire Amber Bellamy, special education paraprofessional at the middle school. Motion?
So move.
Joel, seconded by
I'll second.
Jenny. Kira?
Yep, so Amber is joining our program for students with intellectual disabilities. So she completes the program. We added, we didn't add a position. We had a vacancy at the high school to start the year. One of our middle school paraprofessionals moved to the high school, creating the vacancy at the middle school. So they've been working short for a little while here, and so we're finally fully staffed with Amber on board. So.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-3.
So Kara, how many vacancies do you have left at this point in time? Do you have 2?
We have 2, yes.
Resolution 1920-73, approval to hire Robert Weber, bus driver.
So moved.
Motion by Joe, second by,
Dick?
okay, I assume that we are short a couple of bus drivers.
Yeah, so this one is actually, it's replacing the position by Chris Wass. So this is finally getting us to the capacity that we want to be at for bus drivers. Last year, Travis pretty much drove around the entire year to do that.
And you drove some this year too.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year till this person has been hired. So it's 3 routes throughout the day, plus the extracurricular trips, and it's just being compensated in compliance with the handbook.
Mhm.
So we have to get route wages.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-3. Resolution 1920-74, approval to hire Nick Wilcox, bus driver.
So move.
Dick, second by
Joe?
Joe.
Okay, this is a special hire. It's not really somebody who's gonna be running the 3 routes in a day. It's actually for the alternative school program. So this individual picks up students from other districts as well. So it says contractor here in the Mayville area and currently working, he's a general contractor here in town. That's his primary business. He's also supporting us by running these alternative routes. And I believe he's to the point of retiring and phasing out of one line of business and looking to start to dabble and support us here. So he is studied to get his CDL and to assist in fill in the route driving capacity and then also the extracurricular trips. So right now, the recommendation is to compensate him $50 per trip. And Travis spelled out what that trip was. Wow,
I
that's a
called him
good
today
deal.
on it because they said, holy
Yeah.
cats, you know.
I wish he would have put it in
Right,
writing for that,
yeah.
because I said to him, $50 a trip, and then he shared where they're
It's a
going.
2.5-hour run.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right, that answered my question.
but,
You gotta go to Iron Ridge and then he goes over to the special ed. Where do we got a
Amity.
Amity?
Yeah.
I called him on that too.
good.
I said he could've wrote it out better than that.
Yeah,
The other drivers get $25 an hour and he gets 50? Ooh,
doesn't make any sense. Right.
or $25 a trip, not an hour.
Any questions on this approval to hire for bus driver? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-3. Resolution 1920-75, approval of resignation, Jessica Storks, K-7 art teacher. Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Jenny.
How much would you move? Gone.
Right?
Yeah.
So we just realized because of all the hustle and bustle at the beginning of school year, that it's a big coordinating agenda. So you hired an individual for a contract already, we're set, this just needs to be formally, teacher contracts are approved and resignations are approved by the board. So the support staff positions are not. So that's why we kind of give you FYI, we had a resignation in one, we've had some resignations in para professionals also, those are more reports, but this one has to be formal.
Any questions on this resignation? Joe?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0-3. Resolution 1920-76, approval of donation from Daniel Block for the music department.
So moved.
Motion by Joe, seconded by
Second.
Jen.
It is my pleasure to introduce you to Dan Block, who was a 1958 graduate of Mayville High School, who literally out of the blue got in touch with me a couple weeks ago. The connection is he substituted for my sister in Racine when she was principal, and was looking to get back in touch with Mayville, so he's made a donation of $500 to our music program. What's nice is that he had worked for SC Johnson as a chemist for years, and they have a Mancini grant fund, so we'll be expecting another $500. So the first 500 went to the instrumental, and the second 500 is going to go to vocal for our library. So it was a pleasure catching up with Dan, and hopefully he'll be able to get through here someday and see us.
Great.
What's our system for thank yous for something like this?
Normally, Janet, you send one out of the district office. We send one, but I don't know.
Well, oh, so we double up,
Yeah, which,
We most always do, coming from the district office.
but I think didn't he want the paper to?
yeah, he's also, so we're gonna run something in the newspaper as well.
He wrote a great letter. I love it.
Yeah, he did. And actually, we had talked is that maybe he misses Mayville, and he's up in Arborvitae now, so we had thought maybe as a gift, we would send him a subscription to the Dodge County Pioneer or something like that.
Yeah.
To keep in touch, but it was nice to get to know him, and the money can be used.
Any questions on this donation? Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Hi.
Motion carried 403. Resolution 1920-77, approval of donation from Advanced Disposal for environmental education.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Jen.
As
That
I
was that
shared,
picture, yeah.
as I shared before, this was, and we've realized the history. It originally Advanced, or probably made Waste Management at that time. It started it, Township took it over, and now it's returned back to
Oh,
Advanced
so
Disposal.
we're not gonna get some from.
No, this is it. This is it. And Bob, do you guys know what you spent yours on in the past?
Typically, they'll support 6th grade camp.
Okay, awesome. And I know at the high school, it'll help out with our aquaponics and some of the things that Mr. Seeger's doing with the science club.
Any questions on this donation? Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 403.
Thank you.
Another one. Hey,
Resolution 1920-78, approval of grant,
oh,
You're getting all kinds of money.
close,
Pete.
be close.
FFA, and FFA, and to build a vegetable garden.
That's exactly what it is.
Need a motion?
Oh, so moved.
Joe?
I'll second
Second
that.
by Jen.
And I will be deferring to Mr. Sadek.
I can speak to it. Okay, so, food service department worked with our ag or science teacher, and they applied for a $1,000 incentive grant, and it is part of this Healthy Kids Partnerships with Children's Hospital of Wisconsin and Pulls Cares. It's supported by their mission. So the $1,000, ours is gonna go towards a school garden. So right now, what we have happening is there was a meeting that I was a part of, and that said, you guys can handle this, or where is the location of this going? So right now, our environmental science teacher and the ag teacher, they were eyeballing the same spot at Mayville High School, or where they wanted to put some more, like some natural wetland area,
Right in the
or
middle
is
of
it
the
gonna
football
be a
field?
garden? So
That's
they're
a
still trying to
natural-
figure out the exact location of where this goes, but it'll be someplace near the greenhouse. So it's great to see.
Did
So
they talk about raised beds yet? I know they.
That's what they're discussing. Yep. That's what the money's gonna go towards.
You'll kind of be in that bank in the back of it.
Correct.
Raised beds are nice to have.
They're just wondering where Travis is gonna be pushing snow.
Keep the weeds out. It's not that, no, they won't, it's gonna be behind, that's behind the greenhouse, so they'll be okay. Everything over there is on the, I have to get my bearings here. It's on the south, it's on the northwest side. No, southeast side, see,
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
Southeast side by
Yeah.
the greenhouse.
But Travis, might be pushing snow that way, that's why we didn't,
No, I think it'll be okay.
okay.
If they do that, they're actually going over a sidewalk and up into the building.
Oh,
So
no, not in between the buildings.
That's where they're looking at.
That's
up in
where they're
between
looking
the
closer.
building and over.
So, but Travis is in the back there.